Hey guys, I just wanted to talk about my short film, which I just put out. I've done maybe about a dozen of these by now. So been getting a lot better at it. I feel fairly confident at doing short films. And this is my short film, A Door with No Key. Let's watch it for a hot second. It's about 2 minutes. And then I'll talk about kind of my process and I'll kind of dissect here and there. Um, I'm planning to do some streaming where I'll like kind of do a short film live. Um, but this is kind of just the beginning of this. And anyway, let's do a quick view and then get into it.
Many spaces I have traveled, many dimensions I have lost myself, too many times to count. If I can even remember how to count, 1,000, a million, a trillion worlds, one, every place a new identity, a new dimension, a new me. A me I don't know I want to be, but still a me for me. See, when I was a child, I stumbled upon a door with no key. Life on Earth was empty, black and white, grayscale. I'm a nobody on Earth, another stat, another body. But in the in-between, I get to be many body. For in truth, I have stood before mountains that were grains of sand. I have lied beneath oceans that were droplets. I have touched stars with my naked heart. I have submerged into galaxies alone. I have died 1,000 deaths. I have no location. Not every world was the right world for me. If anything, it was the passing through where I found my true self, and I danced in every single one of them. I have forgotten none of them. In me are all of them. I walked into a door with no key and lost myself. I will not apologize for it. I evaporate willingly.
All right, there you go. That's A Door with No Key by Mindell. It is a film that I'm pretty proud of, honestly. It took about 10 to 15 hours, maybe 20 hours to do, and maybe a year or two of skill building, trying to figure out how Midjourney and Luma Labs and Hilua and Runway and all these tools work. So definitely not something that is super easy to do off rip, but something that I've definitely accumulated some skills over time. But in my work, I teach a lot of these tools, and with a company called Machine Cinema. So Machine Cinema and another company called Fantastic Day, we essentially teach like new creators and more senior creators how to essentially do this in very short periods of time or longer periods of time. So we kind of help people upskill. And Fantastic Day, which also has an AI studio which works on creating these things for commercial and with brands or celebrities or what have you. So we do all this kind of work for people, and then with Machine Cinema, we're kind of creating community and finding creators and helping creators to do this kind of stuff. But anyway, so that's kind of my experience background, and that's kind of what I do. But which has kind of equipped me with a lot of different skills across a ton of different apps, right? Right now, it's like a very competitive space. It's, you got Midjourney, which I would say is the market leader in image generation. Most of these images are from Midjourney, but you got Flux, Krea.ai, Leonardo.ai, other ones that are using the Flux open source model to generate imagery. And then you've got FreePic, which has Mystic, which is also generating some really amazing kind of image generation. But my familiarity is with Midjourney, and I still think it might be the market leader in terms of interface. But sometimes other of these tools like Krea or FreePic are generating, photorealistic stuff a little bit better here and there. And then, of course, in the space, there's also Runway, Luma, Hilua, Kling AI. I don't know, the list goes on, right? And sorry to anybody that I missed. And there's also a few that are still coming out, right? They're in stealth or what have you. Even there's rumors of Midjourney coming out with a video model as well. There's also Sora, which hasn't come out yet. And so what does this look like? It really looks like this scenario where I wrote my poem, and I can't teach that, right? I've been in love with poetry since I was a kid, especially Zen poetry. And so I wrote this poem on my own in Apple Notes, and just like over the course of a few days or a few hours. And I just kind of adapted it as I was going. And in fact, I kind of wrote along with the imagery in some ways. I was kind of generating imagery. I was kind of adjusting the poems, etc., or the words. And then I was kind of generating, each image at a time over the course of an hour. And what I would do is kind of like, this is where I do all my stuff here. I kind of run multiple things at the same time. And, I'm like in Midjourney, I'm generating stuff here, and then I'm saving it, uploading it into here, and kind of generating the imagery. Then I'm jumping over sometimes to Magnific, and I'm kind of like jumping into here, and I'm creating, upscaling these images, changing that, see the quality here, upscaling it to this, and then sometimes generating something in Mystic directly. So I'm like creating an image here, and then jumping into Kling AI or Hailu AI or what have you, or Luma, and coming up with the imagery from there. So as you can see, like once I drop it in, I'm generating an image. It takes about anywhere from 2 to 10 minutes to generate an image, and then I'm kind of like weaving it together here in CapCut, or DaVinci Resolve or Premiere Pro, depending on what editor I want to use, right? And so that kind of gives you a quick idea of how I do it. And obviously there's timing, like I'm spending a lot of time editing to get the timing right with the words, and really just experimenting with a lot of different art styles. In this case, I really wanted to showcase like the range of art styles that you can play with, especially animation. I mean, I'm a big lover of anime and animated films and TV shows. I watch everything I can get my hands on, from Justice League to Hilda to Arcane to One Piece anime. I've watched them all. Right now watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, rewatching by the way. But yeah, I wanted to showcase what's possible by just playing around with a range of different art styles and having this kind of little short-haired girl who is moving through dimensions. And I think I might do more stuff with dimensions, although I have a lot of sci-fi stories that I've been meaning to produce into short films. But like, I just wanted to have, what is this short haired girl, moving around, coming into, into her own, essentially moving through dimensions. And I felt like this is perfect for a poem. I feel like it's surprising to me that poem films using AI are not more common. Just because I feel like it's a perfect medium for that. And maybe when these tools get easier to use, that is going to be more common. And I want to see that, I want to see, a window into people's lives through art. And, I really loved also playing around with, a credit scene where, you could have this still image and yet still have the credits kind of rolling across that. I felt like it's kind of cute in a certain way. And actually this whole poem, in fact, was actually inspired by an image that I didn't even feature in here. I didn't feel like it was quite perfect yet, and I also couldn't get it to animate in the way that I wanted. This is a film that I'm working on right now about a man who moves from brain to brain. But yeah, like I couldn't quite get this image to animate the way that I quite wanted to. But this is the initial image that I really wanted, and it warped in a way that I didn't like. But this image in particular just made me feel like imagining a woman, an old woman who's like looking into the abyss of dimensions that she's traveled to. It just kind of struck me in a certain way, and I wanted to verbalize that into a poem. And it's just this image alone kind of struck me, and maybe I'll use it at some point. But it's just like her back is to us. She's anonymous. We don't know who she is, and there is a wisdom to having traveled through all these dimensions, right? And as well as there's this kind of like this kind of carefreeness that I feel that I get out of this, just because her shawl is so beautiful, and her hair is so kind of white and pure. And if only I'd gotten the image to be the way that I wanted it to, the video to be the way I wanted it to, maybe I'd feature it. But sometimes this is how it goes. Like just the act of creation just kind of happens because I'm just playing around, and I start to get inspired by things. And I think that's, to me, has always been the fun of Midjourney in particular, which is just kind of going down that rabbit hole, like I create one image, and then I get inspired by that image and I create another image. Or like right now I'm working on a project where I'm trying to animate these aliens, right, off of this initial image, which I really was struck by. Like, I really love the idea of aliens that are just weird and different from us. They don't have limbs, they are just bulbous monsters. And what is it like for us to interact with that, right? And as I play around with it, I'm like, oh, like, I wanted them to be in New York, and unfortunately these images showed them huge and didn't want that. And I was like, okay, what if they're sitting in a hotel lobby, right? And now, I got them here in a almost like a hotel lobby bar or what have you. And maybe I don't like it. It's got arms here, it's got two eyes, and these are the restrictions, the limitations. And it makes me think, hey, maybe I should have them with two eyes instead, so I don't have to deal with this issue. Or I gotta push myself. Maybe I gotta generate some more to find that kind of the right the right flow and the right type that I want. So as you can see, like, as I talk through this process, I'm just kind of playing around, right? As I'm playing around with it, I'm getting inspired by Midjourney as a creative partner, rather than it's just like something that is just doing exactly what I want. I am kind of flexing with it, and truly, like, this poem film really is, to me, at least for my own creative process, like, is a culmination of my skill that I've developed over the last year or two, with kind of like this creative spirit that I've been trying to bring to this, plus like ideas that I've been sitting on for maybe 10 years, 20 years. Like, I love dimensions, I love time travel, I love sci-fi, and this is kind of a lot of those things all meshed together, right? And I hope that my work continues to to show that, and I'm hoping to publish more and more here on the YouTube for you guys, who are a very tiny audience. But I hope that folks find me and enjoy the things that I've been making, and will continue to make. So that's a little bit of a ramble about how I made this short film. More to come. Hopefully I'll be doing some live streams on that and showing them and posting them here, as well as maybe snippets from those live streams. So yeah, that's A Door with No Key, the making of. So thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you soon.